Hey guys, Mr. Krabs ASMR here, and we're doing something different here. This is Okami. Alright, we're playing through Okami. And, it's gonna be a very good meme. This game has a very good story, and I want you to come into it with hopefully a blind view on it, and also like no expectations of what it's gonna be, because you can't really. I just want you to come into this with an open mind and see if you can enjoy it or not. You know, if it's not your thing, then it's not your thing. But it's a very good meme, and I think it has the potential for a lot of people to enjoy it. If you allow yourself to enjoy it, you will enjoy it, is how I think it is. Long, long ago, a tiny hamlet known as Kamiki lay nestled in a grove of proud and beautiful cherry blossoms. Each and every tree around the quiet burg was honored as a god. However, the village was not without its dark secrets. To satiate the appetite of Orochi, a fearsome cave-dwelling beast, a young maiden was offered as sacrifice at the annual festival. With a body like a mountain and 8 heads mounted on necks the size of tree trunks, its blood-red eyes alone were said to curse anybody who gazed into them. Not one dared disobey the horrible beast. And if I stumble any words, because I've been drinking. When the night of the sacrifice drew near, a mysterious white wolf appeared outside the village. This wolf, its coat as brilliant as snow, was dubbed Shiranui. The wolf kept a watchful eye on anyone who ventured outside the village, and made a habit of patrolling the streets at night. People assumed the wolf to be a familiar of Orochi. Everybody thought the wolf worked for Orochi. One villager took it upon himself to face the fearsome Shiranui. The warrior Nagi attempted many times to challenge the wolf. His attempts were thwarted by Shiranui's swift movements. Before long, the night of the accursed festival had arrived. A white-plumed arrow heralded the coming sacrifice. Piercing the sky, the arrow sunk its shaft squarely into the home of Nami, the village's most beautiful maiden. Nagi, harboring a secret love for Nami, was enraged by the sign, determined to put an end to Orochi once and for all. Nagi traveled to the beast's cave, place of his beloved. The Moon Cave, a place as dark as evil itself, served as Orochi's home, as Nagi stood bravely before the entrance. A beast appeared, eyes glowing crimson, about 8 thrashing necks. Orochi stood tall before him, anxious for another sacrifice. Nagi leapt with incredible grace, swinging his blade valiantly. On and on he sliced, well into the moonless night. But Orochi's hide was like steel, the blade left nary a scratch. At long last, Nagi, his energy spent from the intense battle, dropped into his knees, fatigued and gasping for breath. He knew he was staring death in the face. It was then that the wolf appeared. As if to protect Nagi, Shiranui stood its ground before Orochi. In the darkness of the cave, the wolf's coat shone brilliantly. Alas, it was Shiranui, a wolf that dwelled outside the village. Bearing its fearsome claws, Shiranui leapt towards Orochi. Orochi reared its terrifying heads, readying its fangs for battle. The two beasts struggled wildly, thrashing in the darkness. Mysterious and terrifying, the spectacle continued. Shiranui summoned gusts of divine wind to counter Orochi's flames. As Orochi closed in on Shiranui, sharpened claws glistening, a gigantic tree suddenly sprouted forth, shielding the wolf. Shiranui fought gallantly to gain the upper hand. However, Orochi, protected by a mystical power, was not easily bested. Shiranui, covered in gashes, majestic coat dyed crimson red, stood exhausted before the mighty Orochi. Orochi saw a chance to strike what would be the final blow. But Shiranui refused to give in. With its last ounce of strength, the majestic wolf gazed heavenward and unleashed a mighty howl. Suddenly, the black clouds overhead dissipated. The light from above glinted off Nagi's sword as a beacon of hope. Guided by his sword, Nagi, who had been taking shelter in the shadows, stood proudly to face his adversary. Channeling all his strength into his scarred and battle arms, he leapt ferociously towards Orochi, but his sword poised high. The golden sword danced on his hands like a puppet on a string. One by one, Orochi's fearsome heads separated from their owner. Orochi's broken body collapsed in a lake of its own blood. In that instant, the curse that plagued the villagers was lifted. As the battle subsided, the sun shone once again in the sky. Shiranui had succumbed to Orochi's poison and struggled to breathe. Nagi scooped the beast into its arms and returned to Kamiki. When they reached the village, Shiranui was no longer moving. The village elder gently stroked the wolf's head. In response, Shiranui let out a hoarse and pitiful bark, and closed its eyes and drifted off, as if into slumber. Peace had at last returned to Kamiki village. In honor of Shiranui's heroic exploits, the villagers erected a shrine and placed a statue of the wolf within it. Nagi's sword was christened Tsukuyomi and placed inside the moon cave. The villagers all looked forward to an age of endless peace. However, this is not the end of the story. There is more to this tale than most people know. 100 years had passed since Nagi and Shiranui's heroic exploits. It happened so quickly that no one in the village even took notice. Is this the legendary sword? Is this Tsukuyomi, the sword that banished the dreaded Orochi? No, it can't be. It's just a legend, nothing but a fairy tale. Oh, he who seeks power, he who has broken my bonds. Speak the words, I wish darkness unto the world. Utter that prayer unto me, and unleash my power. A horrible tragedy suddenly swept over the land. However, there was one village that seemed to escape the terrible curse. The tiny settlement of Kamiki Village enjoyed the protection of a sacred tree. It is here that the real story begins. Wood sprite Sakuya. How troublesome. This is just like the ancient prophecy of doom. What has transpired to bring about such calamity? We must act quickly. There is no time to lose. My power has diminished over the years I've spent protecting this area. I don't have much time left in this world. Amaterasu, now is the time. We have never needed your power more. Shine your divine light upon this broken and polluted world. Let your heavenly rays become our hope as you guide us all. Okami Amaterasu. Ah, such a divine white light, such beauty and grace. The only one capable of such a wondrous spectacle is none other than our mother and the origin of all that is, Amaterasu. How delightful to see that the Savior whose brave sacrifice sealed away the evil demon so many years ago has not changed one bit. Seeing you emerge after so many years spent as a statue brings happiness to my heart. Amaterasu. Gaze above you and take in the condition of the sky. Since your untimely departure from our midst, the world has succumbed to devious and vicious beasts. They have ravaged our fine and bountiful country of Nippon. Never have the circumstances been worse than they are at this very moment. Please use your powers to banish the darkness and punish those who would do us harm. What's this? Has something stolen its way into my robe? What on earth? What? You again. Ow, ow, ow. Are you nuts? Boy, for a little thing you sure make a big fuss. I was just trying to make the conversation a bit more interesting, that's all. Were you napping in my clothes again, Bug? Bug, I told you 1,000 times not to call me that. I'm a wandering artist. The name's Isun. I'll show you just how great I am, and it won't be long till you're bowing before my great brush. Well, what do you think? Even cuter than the real thing, no? What's with you, Furball? You look kinda down in the dumps. Actually, you look kinda familiar. Got it. You look just like that statue of Shiranui. Whoa, what do you think you're doing? Are you crazy? A handsome boy like me should never be covered in wolf slobber. You'll regret messing with the great Asun. Don't make me use my prized sword, then Kamaru against you. Ooh, what's that growling sound? Why is it so dark anyway? Oh great God, Amaterasu. I used all the power I have to protect Kamiki Village. The village lives on. Your spirits lay encased in my fruit. Cut it free and the village will be reborn. Trust in you. I know that you will lead us down the right path. Only your awesome power can restore life to the world. Fisheries returned to normal, huh? That Sequoia girl sure said some weird stuff. The villagers' spirits are being kept inside the fruit. That's the fruit right there. That girl said that if you cut it down, the village will be restored. It is awfully high up there, though. If you don't use some kind of special power, there's no way you're gonna reach it. The Snarkus is really getting to me, too. A lot can happen while you're taking a nap, huh? I have control. So, where are we? We got awfully quiet all of a sudden. Sorry, I went to take a sip of water. Boy, you really look so helpless. You sure you're gonna be okay? Holy shit. Sensitivity's way too high. Alright, let me try and sort this out. And I can kind of explain what's gonna go on with this series. So, I'm thinking I'll probably edit it so that like the major cutscenes are separate videos on their own, and then the gameplay will also be its own thing going like alongside the major cutscenes. So I'll make my final decision at some point, but we'll kind of see how it works out, how I decide to go with it, and pretty much how everything works out, how we get this series going. But I do plan on finishing this series. It might be a a spread out thing, or I might wait until it's pretty much done before I start uploading it. I'm not too sure how I'm gonna work it out, but there we go. Since today's almost acceptable, not quite. I guess we'll move it all the way down, but and I know a lot of people can get turned off of this game by the not only the art style looking kind of like fucking, oh, it's some weeb anime shit, like this, that's the assumption you would make about it, but I've heard real good things about this game and I'm giving it a chance, so I would hope that anyone thinking about watching this would also give it a chance. And they also get turned off by the fact that it's like text-based, there's no voice acting, but I'll be reading it so you don't have to really worry about that, as long as you can, as long as you're fine with me reading all the lines and shit. And I'll do my best to stick to the exact lines, but if I feel like I should be like, if I feel if it'll flow better if I change something, or if I misread a line or some shit, try not to shit on it too hard. Sorry about this. I'm trying to get the look sensitivity just right. And I'm a bit tired, so I'll try to stay as energetic and entertaining as possible. But this game, oh wait, hold on. That's an origin mirror. They say once your reflection appears on its surface, memories will be stored in the mirror for all eternity. Well, to put it shortly, you can save your progress here. Let me give you a little advice. You should save a number of game files. That way you could always go back if you get stuck or something. You gotta be prepared, especially while you're learning the game. So, I'm gonna try to do my best to not fuck around too much and actually get shit done so we can advance the story. And what was I about to say? I had something I was gonna say and I lost it. Oh, get all those pots waiting to be broken. If you bust them, there might be something good. Yeah. Whatever, man. Way to go, my furry friend. Yeah, anytime you see something you can break. And, I don't care if these videos get no views, I'm still probably, like, even if there's just one person that you can watch us through the whole thing, I'm planning on finishing the whole series. Just because I think this game is something I can get into. Well, we'll hold it there for a while, get a load of that. That just looked mighty tempting. Let's go check it out. Getting up that high ought to be a piece of cake. This is control for shit. Yeah, man. But this first bit, actually, this first episode, this first play session is actually I don't know, you can do it. They say good luck is, I fucking missed that. This first episode, or this first play session, I guess I'll say, is actually post commentary. I'm actually recording the voiceover after I recorded the gameplay, because I ended up doing my ASMR like whisper meme for the voiceover at this part, but then I decided in the second play session, because I'm already 3 sessions in, and I'm actually really enjoying the game, but I decided I would not do the whisper meme and I'd actually talk properly. Looks like the bridge is out, and right here this is just more like tutorial shit. It's not that important, so I'll just keep talking over it. But yeah, this is post commentary, and I thought I would just redo it rather than having it whisper memes for the first like episode or two, and then suddenly transition into speaking. So if you haven't played this game, I recommend actually picking it up, even if you pirate it or if you purchase it or something, I recommend that you play through it yourself. If you can handle actually reading the dialogue, then I think it would be worth it. Just because I'm really enjoying the game. And this is just explaining the brush powers. I'll give a basic rundown. There's 13 different brush techniques. That was one of them. They're repairing the bridge meme. That's like restoration or some shit is what it's called. And there are 13 brush techniques. And throughout the game, you learn the different techniques, and you gotta like draw with the brush to do memes. The River of the Heavens. That's where we're at right now. And I don't think you ever come back to this place in the game. It's like just a tutorial area, and that's why I'm not really focused on reading the dialogue too much. It's just not that important to the story. It's just more like teaching you how to actually play the game type memes. So I'll probably even cut some of this out, just because it's really just showing you how to play the game rather than like actually important. I don't think much would be lost if I cut some of this out, so. So then you gotta like draw the star and shit, and all these fucking memes. Cancer, dude. I fucking missed it. Oh, what the? Why didn't it work? What the fuck? What's wrong with this stupid shit, dude? Here we go. This is a nice meme, and I'm also going to try and get as close to 100%ing the game as possible, so that'll also drag on the series. And I think it's about a 60-hour series, so just so you guys know what you're getting into. I've heard that the game is like between 40 and 60 hours. On a blind playthrough, it'll probably take me about 50, I'd like to say. It's just for the 13 powers, and they're all scattered across, and you gotta fucking do memes and skate fast and eat ass and fucking pick up all the powers, and then you can do memes. So I think I'm gonna cut the first episode here, actually, just so it's not like dragging on and showing the whole tutorial meme, and I'll come back when it's the actual village memes when we're out of this tutorial area. So that'll conclude the introduction to this series. Mr. Krabs ASMR out.